What's going on there, fellow YouTubers? Chris back with you guys finally. I know you guys are probably going, oh my God, did they like abduct him or something like that? My apologies for being away so long. I do apologize. Listen, guys, I mean, a couple weeks ago I went on vacation for about 9 days, you know, up to Rhode Island, see some family, friends, things like that. You know, my mom's not getting any younger, but still it's good to see everybody. It was great to do that. And like I said, we come back, and I promised myself, I said, I'm going to be hardcore. I remember telling you guys that that I wasn't working and that I was looking for a job. So when I came back, I got hardcore on it, and we start work Monday. So, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm glad I had like a nest egg put aside, you know, for this kind of problem. So everything worked out just fine. And so just kind of segued into this new job, so we're ready to rock. All right. This video isn't about anomalies. This is about NASA and, you know, basically the charades and the games that they play with the public. How many of you guys are frustrated and pissed off of just the shenanigans that these guys pull? And it's not just NASA. I believe it's the military, you know, is dictating what they should say to the public. I don't know if that's all true. It may be just a NASA thing, but I also believe it's all these other space agencies around the world, whether it be ESA, India Space Program. It doesn't matter who it is. They're keeping this stuff under wraps. And I believe a lot of these professional astronomers told that these, you know, kind of like a gag order type thing. If they find anything of any value, we'll use the term, whether it be on the moon, Mars, wherever else they're looking at through their telescopes. So, but I'm frustrated, man, because every time we see a photo of Mars, it's something that looks like this, and you know, I mean, again, I mean, show of hands, of course, I can't see them, but you're just going, come on. I mean, what gives here? You know, it's a joke. And now I'm not saying that, you know, every time well, here's the thing. Every time NASA or ESA, any of these space agencies tell us, hey, look, you know, it's a red planet, it's dead planet, so on and so forth. You go, okay. I don't believe that. I don't. I don't believe it's what we're seeing here, because if you go, you know, a lot of people, including myself, I like to upgrade my telescope. I don't have a really good one because I love to have a really good one for you guys and really have a look at the moon. And, you know, I mean, the moon I can see pretty good, especially when you use a decent Barlow with it. But the thing is, it's like, it's nothing compared to like the Celestron, something really nice, like an 8 or 12-inch telescope, things like that. But these, you know, guys, these things are costly, you know. But regardless, when these guys look through it, they see a whole different picture. And I'm going to show you what I mean. This is a picture here showing of NASA. And this is NASA's photo. Here's amateur astronomers. Look at that. It's got basically the same colors as our planet. Okay? So it mind boggles me that they show us this piece of crap on the right, and then we've got, you know, astronomers, these amateur ones, actually showing real colors. Now, don't get me wrong, they're all like RGB, just like your standard camera would take. So, you know, I look at that, and it's the same kind of thing I get when I see, like, remember when I told you guys, like when they take, you know, like Mount Shop, and they use it like a template. I always said they just like plop it over whatever they don't want you to see. And then I seen this picture on Google, and I thought this was cool, because this is what it reminds me of. It was exactly what I've been saying all along, and you can see where it shows this Mount Shop, and of course they just say, no, Curiosity rover, and you beings looking through this rover, this is what you want to see right here. And of course you see the city, but I look at these guys, instead of these, what do they call them, xenomorphs from Alien, I look at it like the two NASA or military, you know, personnel holding this thing up. But nevertheless, this is the kind of BS we're getting from these guys. What's funny about it is you've got, how many times now, if you go back to like Richard Hoagland and other people who have pioneered looking at these Mars as well as moon photos, and they're saying, listen, we're studying your satellite photos, NASA, and we see what looks like lakes on Mars, rivers on Mars, and then, what was it, like 2 to 3 years ago, they claimed, oh yeah, we now have water on Mars. First it was carbon ice, like at the poles, and of course the poles, you know, they said it was just carbon ice, which is basically caused by pressure. But then they come out recently saying, well, wait a minute. No, first of all, we do have running water. And if you remember, they had water running down in these craters. and they say it's seasonal. Okay. Then they came out and said, well, no, it's not just carbon ice on the caps. It's also water ice. And I've been saying this for how many years? They have a water cycle. I've got a video here that the guy, and I don't know if I ever played it for you guys, but I'll play it for you. I don't know how well it'll play, but let me do this. Let me see if I can't. I won't be able to do it now. Not that it matters. I'll actually leave the video up on Google+, or I'll just give you a link to the video and you can have a look at it. Basically, the guy's saying there is a water cycle on Mars, and it's closest, he's saying closest to the ground as well as in Gale Crater. So, what? Now they're saying, now this is a guy, a scientist or a project, personnel working on the Curiosity rover. And he's talking about how the dirt, moist dirt, can get caught up in the actual drill bit. Now, if you ever noticed the way these drill bits are made, they have this funky end to them, but they're also spiraled. So in other words, once it drills, it can literally pick up this material and bring it right inside the drill, and then, of course, it gets analyzed and everything else. So these guys have to know what this thing does. And they're saying, the guy even asked him, what, on Mars? He says, yeah, we found out there's an actual, water cycle, which I've been saying all along. So it's almost like we're pushing them into admitting what we've been finding. So now, again, it has this, they keep playing this one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. Now, I don't know if you guys seen this recently, but they were talking about, let me see if I can bring this one up. Mars soil may be toxic to microbes. So in other words, forget about maybe seeing microbes now, guys. Well, let's put the kibosh to that and chances of any life. The Martian surface may be even less hospitable to life than scientists had thought. Well, wait a minute. We're talking about, remember, they also said that Curiosity had seen like these two huge plumes of methane, or methane, to my brothers and sisters and over in the UK. That's what was funny. So wait a minute. I'm seeing, okay, water cycle, obviously water. Water cycle. We had what looked like these other photos, again, like this, which to me looks like could be bodies of water, living organisms, meaning trees, grass, and everything else. You can see the darker areas and what look like some blue, and you can see the outer atmosphere. Browns, which is basically land. And then we see this piece of trash from NASA. I'm going, wait a minute. Check this out. Let me show you a couple others that people have taken with their Celestron C11s. And you can see what looks like there's a lot more detail to Mars than what they're saying. Look at this. Look at this right here. It's not all red. There's nothing red about this planet, or dark, or shit color, whatever they want to call it. There's nothing to, look at this. Look at this one here. There's nothing of the sort. There's another one here. I think it was this one. Check this out. What part of that is a red planet? Now, this one here was actually talking about a dust storm in progress, and if you see this July 2nd, 6th of July, 14th, and it looks like it's in the outer atmosphere, then it looks like it's, maybe in the upper atmosphere, and that's what's kind of haze and everything, so you can't see any detail. But without this storm, guess what it looks like? A typical normal planet. Now, speaking of normal planet and the atmosphere, check this out. This is what I find pretty cool as well. These sunsets on Mars and showing the sun. And what's funny about it is you can see the haze of blue. Now they'll say, well, yeah, but here's all the dust in the actual atmosphere. This is the reason why we call it the red planet. Well, is it actually red in the atmosphere, or is it from the camera lens, right after the camera lens? Is it between the camera lens and the actual sun itself? And this is the reason why we're seeing this brownish. In other words, it's not all over the atmosphere. It's actually just in sight of the camera, looking at the actual sun setting, and that's what you're seeing. I don't know. To me, I see blue in there. Here's another one. I don't know if it was this one here. Here's one here, and you've got the other here. To me, now I could be wrong here, I'm seeing blue in both of these. I'm seeing blue. Mars has a normal atmosphere. Now, I'm not saying it's quite like Earth. Don't get me wrong on that. So, what I'm trying to convey is I'm trying to say, listen, NASA, tell the truth. Here's what's funny. This is another one you're going to like. I ran across this the other day. And let me see if I can find this. This is awesome. Let's get rid of that. Check this out. Red planet heats up. Ice age ending on Mars. Wait a minute. Hold on. When did they ever say Mars was in like an ice age? Did anybody ever hear that? Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you've seen that. And if you have, if you read that it's been in an ice age, send me the link. Because I've never read it. I've never seen that. Now, what's funny about it is they get into this BS about, is emerging from an ice age and finding that could shed light on the past and future climates of both Mars and Earth, researchers said. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Wait a minute. We just said earlier that NASA has said, well, we have water that is seasonal and melts like every year. And it's the same thing here on Earth. So, wait a minute. If it's in an ice age, would it be any melting at all? I think I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I can just kind of see this coming, and I know you guys can too. You guys are pretty hip on this. What's going to happen is they're going to suddenly stumble on a lake of water. Because of this ice age, ending, suddenly there's going to be pools of water, and you're going to start to see a lot more, or like a lake of water. They're going to just happen to come upon, so to speak. Or a lot more water, and you're going to start to see pools of water here, here, and here. That's what they're going to do. They're slowly milking this to death. And it's insane that they're doing this. So, okay. And I'm saying, okay, ice age. All right, we'll go with that. Now, this is another thing I find a little interesting. Clouds on Mars. Here we go again. When you see this was right here. This was taken by Opportunity, depending on it. And this was like 3 different frames within a minute. And you can see what looks like these cirrus clouds over this crater. Okay? Now, this is what's funny because when I looked at this, where is it at? These cirrus clouds here on Earth, now these are created by ice crystals. Okay? The way NASA showed, that last one I just showed you, they said it's because it was just basically going into winter. Well, wait a minute. Since when do you need cirrus clouds? Since when has it got to be winter to have cirrus clouds? All it's got to be do is cold air aloft in the atmosphere. So I don't believe that shit. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm just reading this and I'm going, okay, cirrus clouds form when water vapor undergoes deposition of and forms ice crystals, which is true. We get it on Earth. It's getting it on Mars. Doesn't mean it's a cold, barren shithole planet. It just means it has ice crystals in the atmosphere. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so now when you dig that, let me see if I can find this. No, it's pretty much that. Here's another photo here. This is of 3 pictures taken, and you'll like this. Check this out. This is awesome. Okay, the blue Rayleigh or Raleigh or whatever you want to call it, skies on Mars. 3 views of Mars from 3 different telescopic cameras demonstrating distant blue limb brightening, consistent with Rayleigh scattered light. Even at the limb where the optical path length is longest, there is no evidence of reddish suspended. Now, this is from a site that said, we don't believe this red planet crap. Okay. Citadeo, I guess I'm pronouncing that right, from 1999. Get this, look at Hubble. And I've told people, listen, go look up Hubble images of Mars. This is what you see. I'm seeing blues. I'm seeing browns. I'm seeing an atmosphere. I'm seeing this. Check this one out. This was an MGS wide angle from 1998. What the hell? What gives here? This is their explanation. I stuck this on the side here so we can all read this. Getting the colors right is not an exact science, says Bill. Given an approximate view of what we'd see if we were there involves in artistic visionary element as well as, after all, no one's ever been there before. However, great pains are taken to be as accurate as possible, short of going there ourselves. To give people a sense of being on Mars, scientists combine views through telescopes, data from past Mars missions, and new information from the current mission to create a colored balanced, uniform scene. Color-corrected mosaics simulate the view a person would see if all of the images in the mosaic were taken on the same day at the same moment. In addition, the rovers can take 3 pictures in a row of the same surface area on Mars using 3 different primary color filters, which is the same thing, guys. It's RGB, your red, green, and blue. This is not a secret. Every camera does this. to make one color image. It works a little like an inkjet color printer, which combines primary colors to create various shades on paper, explains Eric de Jong, lead for the Solar System Visualization Team at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Then we tweak the color, just like you can adjust the color balance on a TV screen at home. NASA JPL. Are you freaking kidding me? How about just take a picture? Just take a picture. What is without the hoopla and have to adjust this and adjust that? Now, these pictures I showed you earlier, which were here, just about all of these, and you'll see them, guys will tell you this, that they take the RGB, like they're taking an infrared, and then what they'll do is they'll take them in RGB, and then they'll stack the photos to give you all of the colors in the photo. That's just, cameras do this automatically. And then some of them, people can do it manually, and then they can stack them because they could be black and white, whatever they may be, and they stack the photo. This is not uncommon. This is normal. So this one, both this one and this one here is the same way. But these were taken by the Celestron C11 telescope. And you can see there's a lot more detail in there than that piece of trash that they keep showing. And this, to me, it's a gaffe, guys. It's a joke. When you see this looks like nothing like this piece of garbage that they're showing here. Nothing like it. Come on, NASA. How about this? Throw us a bone. Say, look, we actually found a pool of water, a lake of water. Or how about this? Microbial life. Leave it at that. Nothing more. Or maybe something like a cactus we'd have here on Earth. It's probably, whatever. Throw us a bone. I mean, for some reason they think that people are so stupid that they wouldn't be able to acknowledge it's like, oh, wow. Now, if they told me that, it'd be like, well, we knew it all along. Now, what about the average person who's never watched these videos or any videos like this or done any research? They'd probably just go, wow, that's interesting. That's cool. I don't think they'd freak out like they propose in the Brookings report. Like saying, oh, people would freak out. It'd be something to do with some kind of religious implications, so on and so forth. I don't believe that's the case at all. You know what I mean? They're on this planet for a reason. They went on the moon for a reason. And the photos were messed with from day one before they even did the Apollo missions, when they had the lunar orbiter. Same thing when they got the orbiters here on Mars. Satellite photos reveal what look like ancient structures. We're seeing things that don't make any sense. They're anomalous in these photos from the Curiosity on the ground, or whether it be Oppie, or even Spirit before it became a dead stick. Either way you look at it, there's things anomalous. Most people say, oh, they're just rocks. No, they're not. But more importantly, anomalous just means something that stands out from the rest of the photo or the surrounding area. That's what anomalous means. Now, whatever we think they are, well, that's a whole different story. That's why I always ask you guys for what you may think it is, because I could be totally off base, right? So I always ask my subs, you guys, what you think it may be. Now, again, now we're going to, I don't know if you guys heard about it, I think it was last year, about Trappist 1, Trappist 1 system, where they say that the star isn't as hot as our sun. And, of course, you got EFG, which you can see they highlighted in green. And, of course, this is just an illustration. And they show, like, these three planets are in the Goldilocks zone, kind of like Earth and Mars is. But they are closer together than the planets that we have in our solar system. And they could be habitable. NASA is not going to waste their time unless they know there's something to gain by it. Or, think about it, it's like you're just trying to find if there's other people out there, and I think they have. I absolutely believe that they have. Whether the people or inhabitants, we'll use the term inhabitants, are still there is immaterial. I think they can see a lot more detail on these planets than they're saying. And I mean, now they got these telescopes out in space, and these things are phenomenal. They've updated the Hubble. They've updated all of these. They're putting the newer telescopes out there, and they're just insane the way these things are designed. So now they're seeing this Trappist 1 system, 7 planets in it, and guess what? There's 3 in the Goldilocks zone. Why are they so like hell-bent and going, wow, we're going to try to find another Earth like ours? Or do they just say, hey, or are they looking at it like, are they looking at it 2 ways? One, hey, wow, we can probably inhabit that planet someday. Or are they saying, because it's in the habitable zone, let's go throw a probe around it. There may be living people on that planet. Or inhabitants. We're going to use the term inhabitants because we don't know what they would look like. But I think for anybody to believe that, just looking at the skies at night, believes that we're the only life forms on this only planet, that's it, that's insane. That's insane. The fact that we're here proves there's life other places. We're all carbon-based life forms, and carbon is everywhere in the universe. And if it's been scattered that way, then chances are there's life forms everywhere else. Okay? So, again, just piece these together. You've got, like I said, you've got blue atmosphere, regular atmosphere. May not be as thick as ours, grant you that. Water cycle. Cloud, just like we have here on Earth. There's definitely water itself, just, not carbon ice or any of that sort. We actually have water, H2O. And what about when they said that the Curiosity rover has seen huge plumes of methane? Where's this methane coming from? Again, you just go, okay, let's add all of these up together. And of course, all of these chemicals they've already found on the planet, I'm telling you right now, this planet, you and I could walk on it. Now, whether you have to use a little bit of, radiation shielding or whatever, maybe a little breathing apparatus, that's about it. It gets warm there during the day and it gets cold at night because of the thinner atmosphere. It's no different like in the wintertime where you live. During the day, it heats up really nice and warm. And then as soon as the sun drops off, because it's such, it's because the world is actually tilted on its axis, that all of a sudden now, the second that sun drops, whoosh, the temperature drops like a rock. Now picture no atmosphere. And, like on a cloudy day in the wintertime, it holds in the heat. This is the reason why your temperatures don't drop at night. But the second it clears up and they say it's going to be a clear night, guess what happens? It's going to drop like a rock, the temperature. So there you go. Now picture being a very thin atmosphere. This heat just escapes, but it heats up really nice during the day. So why couldn't people live there again? Tell me why. I'd simply live in the house, come out there during the day. If I have to wear a little bit of radiation shielding, whatever, okay. I could walk around, do whatever the heck I want. Get nighttime, time to hide in the house. And, of course, it's, insulated, heated, whatever. And they're not going to suffer from the below freezing temperatures or below zero, whatever. So, I don't know, man. I mean, when you piece all of this together, and then, like I said, for some reason they take one step forward, 3 steps back. It happens all the time. And you know what? I'm about fed up with it. What I don't understand, why isn't everybody, including just regular scientists, I'm not talking about people who work for NASA, why aren't they throwing their hands up in the air and going, tell us the damn truth? Why isn't the public bombarding NASA trying to get the truth? Saying, hey, you know what? Why don't you tell the truth, man? Tell the truth. What do you got to lose? I mean, I don't expect them to come out and say, yeah, by the way, there's a living civilization on Mars. We found evidence of that. But throw us a bone, like I said. Say, we found bacteria or microorganisms, even macro. The point is just say, well, we found that, and it was literally in a stone, and we found it, but obviously it's not alive now. That's it. Leave it at that. People can handle the truth. They're not stupid. Stop with this 1960s BS already. Oh, people won't be able to handle it. You pretty much desensitize people with these movies. Of course, they want you to believe, if there's ever a, alien visitation, they automatically assume, like, when you're watching Independence Day, things like that, holy hell's going to break loose. Let me tell you something, guys. If that was true, we wouldn't be here today. They would have looked at us like, okay, this is a nuisance. Whatever these parasites are on this planet, we need to just wipe it clean and just take the planet ourselves. So I don't believe that if there are aliens out there, and I'm going to say other inhabitants. Aliens just sound like, I keep thinking of these little grays or something like that. These little, they don't have to be that. I'm going to say inhabitants or other beings from other planets. I don't believe that they're hostile. I think they're looking at us like, like they're our parents looking down at us and seeing how we're evolving. And every now and then they throw in a little bit of extra love, so to speak, and they're trying to direct us in certain ways. And now, kids, stop fighting. How many times you heard them stories about they went over these missile silos and everything became inoperative. So I believe that they're doing this shit for a reason. It's almost like now kids play nice kind of thing. And I think that we're being watched. I don't know. And of course, anything I've said in here, guys, give me your take on it. Let me know what you think, because I'm looking at this stuff and I'm just going, yeah, I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I don't know if this thing will play. See, it won't have any. No, I don't have it marked for volume here, or I shouldn't say, hold on, let me see if we can do this. I just don't think that they could do that. So let's see now. So again, we got the clouds, we got all of these, and here's the funny part. Guys, if you guys own or ever bought a telescope, whether it be a Celestron, Orion, a Meade, doesn't matter what kind it is, if you ever bought one, all of these sites that you buy them from, they literally encourage you to upload your photos. So in other words, if you take it to the moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, doesn't matter what it is, if you've taken the photo of, they encourage you to upload. So that's what these people have done. Go on these sites, on these telescope sites, and just look at it. Just put, it'll say like, I don't know if it'll say like owner uploads or something to that effect. So just check it out. Who would you rather believe? Something that shows this crap here, this piece of garbage, or something like this where these are, and now it's not clear, don't get me wrong, but it's not the point. You got this or this here. Really? Look at the details in this. Dark colors. What looks like desert here. I'm going to just zoom right in. Of course, it's going to be pixelated, but that's okay. Looks like desert. Then you got what looks like abundant, like trees. Like forest. Could be darker areas. Could be like lakes in between all of this. What are you kidding me? Check this out. What is that? Come on, guys. I'd rather believe this before I believe that picture there. This here. Again, a lot more detail than NASA shows, like this piece of garbage. Now, again, I think this is a composite or something that's just drawn, an artist rendition. Call it what you will. I don't care. But to me, I think NASA just needs to come out with the truth. I just do. I just think they should come out with the truth. And again, I don't expect them to take leaps and bounds and say, yeah, there was life, we found structures. I don't expect that. In fact, there'll be a long time coming before that happens. But just tell the people, man, we found what looked like there was microbial life. Of course, it's not alive now, but we analyzed a rock and seen this. Or, and I'm telling you right now, when they started saying about this ice age, Mars coming out of the ice age, I think they're building that up. I think they're going to say, oh, look what we ran across. Look, there's a huge body of water or a lake, a small lake or whatever. Whatever. Tell the people the truth, man. This is getting ridiculous now. Anyway, guys, give me your take on it. I'm sorry I was just going on about this, but it's something I've been kind of just going over, just stewing over in my head, and I'm saying to myself, I'm so sick and tired of it. I'm frustrated. I know you guys are too. They're going, why don't these space agents just tell the darn truth already? Why is it a big frickin' mystery? We know there's life on other planets. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. It may be a total different life form compared to what we have here. That doesn't make it not a life. We have, things that live in temperatures, extremophobes is what they call them, that live here on this planet, whether it be next to volcanic vents on the bottom of the ocean, in the very depths of, like, the polar regions, below 32 degrees, things just swimming around like it's just a normal day. And they're extremophobes. These things live everywhere. Why can't other animals and creatures live on other planets? Maybe, we got creatures that live in deserts here on our planet. I was going to say just in the United States, but that's not true. It's everywhere, right? So come on. I mean, guys, give me your take on how frustrated you with it. And you know what? I would suggest I bombarded NASA with this. And NASA, just come clean with this, man. Tell the truth. It's sickening now. It really is sickening. It's getting to the point where, people are just going, oh, hell, I'm just so frustrated. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Now, me personally, I still like going through the photos. And that's what we're going to still be doing for you guys, whether it be the moon, Mars. We're still going to be rocking and rolling on this when we can fit the time in. We're going to try to come up with a schedule. We can start getting back into these photos again, and really delving into these things. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, guys, again, I apologize for not getting back to you guys. It's been a while since I made a video. So again, my apologies for that. But we will be still rocking and rolling. Stay tuned for that. With that, we'll see you in the next video.